Hold on 1 second. I got to do the countdown. Here it is. Wow, 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 wow. What is up? Hello, hello. JMTS, that stands for John Marks the Spot. You're watching live Wednesday evening, about 9:15, sorry. Goddamn kids won't go to sleep. Go figure. Delco Steve, I texted him and I said, yo, I'll be on as close to 9 o'clock as possible. And he gave me like the thumbs up, the like. Let's see. Yeah. So maybe he jumps on soon, maybe he doesn't. I know he's got the baby that's arriving soon. But what's up with everybody? Phil's, last I looked, we're leading in the bottom of the 8th, I believe. Someone, I'm sure, will tell me if it's gone final. But day 2 of, or I guess day 1, because Castellanos got benched last night. Hey, Topper, bench me, bench you. Right? What's the famous Thornton Mellon line where he's talking to Kurt Vonnegut? He goes, Vonnegut, he goes, hey, F me. Hey, Vonnegut, you read lips, F you. Tell them stopping payment on the check. Yeah, so the Phils were winning. Let's see if it's a final. Oh, 4-2. Uh-oh, 4-2, bottom of the 9th. Matt Strom on 2 on, 2 outs. That's trouble. Strom's already given up a run. Telling you, for all the bitching of Rob Thompson soft and Nick Castellanos shouldn't have been benched or whatever, this bullpen is a major issue. Kirkering pitches the 8th tonight, and they're going to continue to use guys, just kind of depending. Kirkering got to save the other night. He pitched the 8th inning tonight. Strom's pitching the 9th. Phil's win. Vince Castellanos. Not Vince Castellanos. Nick Castellanos. Vince said the Castellanos got a catch. Yeah, so Phillies win, thank God. Bullpen's a major issue. You think about it. You look at this bullpen, and it's like, all right, well, who do you have now? Strom has not pitched well this year. His ERA is almost 4. Kirkering's been good. I mean, he's actually been really good, but still, like, do you have a lot of faith with him in a high leverage situation? You got to put somebody in there. Ranger was good again tonight. The only run was that solo home run, which was in the 5th inning. Other than that, lots of strikeouts, lots of swings and misses. Great command, working both sides of the plate. Very rarely does he leave anything over the middle of the plate. Ranger Suarez has been awesome. He's 6-1. Imagine people like me wanted to put him in the bullpen. Well, the reason we wanted to put him in the bullpen is they had an overabundance of starters and their bullpen stinks. And now Alvarado's out. They're going to have to make a move or two. And I'll say this. At some point, you have to consider Andrew Painter in the bullpen. Like, sorry, I know he's going to be a starting pitcher, and that's what you want him, and you don't want to screw him up or whatever. You're telling me his arm, his elbow, his shoulder can't withstand pitching an inning or 2 at a time? Like, really? Is that what you're saying? I'm not trying to kill him. I'm not trying to ruin his career. What are we talking about here? We're talking about him throwing an inning at a time, 2 innings at a time in the bullpen. They need him because they don't need another starter. They can use Taijuan Walker in the fifth role if they need a starting pitcher. They need a high-leverage, high-powered arm. I know they're going to acquire somebody at the trade deadline. Of course they are. But they need they need a legit arm, and they probably need more than that because Strahm hasn't been good. Kerkering's been fine. Pretty much all the other guys, just when you look at them and you go down everything, it's like who do you really trust in the bullpen right now? As I'm pulling up the pitching lines right now. All right, so you have outside of the starters, you have Joe Ross, and I'm the queen bee of the Joe Ross hive. He has not been great. Tanner Banks, no. Strahm, no. Jordan Romano, no. Who? Alvarado's going to be gone until later on in the year, and he can't even pitch in the playoffs. I guess Michael Mercado's up right now. They don't have anybody. Who's their best reliever? Like, really? Is it Kerkering? All right. Well, who's your second best reliever? That's the better question. Seriously, who's your second best reliever? Matt Strahm's not very good right now. So, I don't know. I really don't. Yeah, Bob Ross might look good in there right now. Yeah, I get it. I do. I get why you wouldn't want to put Painter. He's your starter. Coming off of Tommy John. He's a starting pitcher. So what? Obviously, there's not a room for another starter. If you make him a starting pitcher this year, that means that there's an injury or someone's getting benched that probably shouldn't. Aaron Nola's still likely to be back towards the end of the season. Not even worried about that. But I'm not taking Nick Gable out of this rotation right now. Even if he's going 5 innings, that's development. I'm not taking him out of the rotation. There's no need to. So, what do? Andrew Painter makes the most sense because he's a high leverage arm. If he's going to throw out his elbow or you don't trust that his body can handle being a reliever for a month or two, I don't know what to tell you. This is a window to win a World Series. The biggest weakness on this team is the bullpen. It was before the Alvarado suspension. It certainly is right now. Romano has been kind of, he's looked good and then he hasn't looked good. But you got to put together a run where earlier in the season, you looked up at his ERA and it's like, well, damn, his ERA is near 7. Well, it's not that far off of that right now. Yeah, it's 6.84. So you look at his game logs and it's like, all right, he's went last 3 games. He hasn't given up a hit or an earned run, and his ERA is still near 7. So I believe someone will step up. Matt Strahm hopefully starts to pitch better, but Tanner Banks as your second lefty out of the bullpen, I don't have confidence in him. Joe Ross, Bob Ross, Ross Gellar, Ross from Friends. Who are the other Rosses that are out there? Subi Ross, whoever they are, no confidence. This is a team that is, I think most Phillies fans, if they're being honest with themselves, doesn't feel like this is the team that's going to win the World Series. But that's because we've seen what happened the last 2 years. Really, it's all about how they're playing when you get into September, middle of September, late September, October, when the playoffs start. 3 years ago, they were playing great. Last year, they weren't. Year before that, they ran out of steam against Arizona. You can't have a bullpen where when we had confidence in their bullpen, you see in the playoffs how difficult it is. Starters aren't giving you 7 or 8 innings in the postseason. You're hoping to get 6. And then you have a very stressful, high leverage 7th, 8th, 9th. It's so difficult to get those outs. And if you remember the year they went to the World Series, Rob Thompson was relying on Jose Alvarado way too much to get them out of every jam. And it worked, but it's not going to work every time. And they're not going to have Alvarado this year. That's a major issue. So, but the Phils win. Not Cody Ross. Not Ross dressed for less. Yeah, Stott. So good point there, RJ. Stott has been awful. He had a 3-run home run, which was the meat and potatoes early of their runs that got them that lead. And it was a big one. So David Robertson is not pitching. He is not currently pitching. He asked for, I believe, a $10 million contract from the Phillies when they reportedly called and said, hey, I don't want him for any money. Not even $1 million. No, thank you. No, David Robertson. They are going to have to make a trade or 2 or 3. And this can't be a Turk Wendell, Dennis Cook trade like the Phillies made Was that 2006 or 2007? And no, they didn't go to the playoffs with those guys. That was like a Larry Bowa era when the bullpen was cooked and Turk Wendell was cooked. And so was Dennis Cook. Delco Steve, whenever you're ready, buddy, you can jump on. I know you're just getting set up right there.
Dude, I was in the wrong studio.
Oh, is that I was going to text you, but then I got going. Yeah, so I guess I got to delete that studio. Huh.
Yeah, I was sitting there. I'm like, this is weird. Like I usually hear the music by now or something. And then I like went and looked and I'm like, the bench me, bench you isn't there. I'm like, oh my God. And I saw live.
So what? I don't even know what it is. I'll have to.
It was like a test run or something. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm just an idiot.
No, you're definitely not an idiot. You shouldn't have. There shouldn't be two things for you to go into. There should be one. What's going on? So first of all, Delco Steve, update us as the date creeps closer to baby Delco Steve. How are we doing? What's the latest?
Everything's good. Everything's pretty much set up. We got like baby bottle maker thing set up over here. And,
all right.
Room's all set up. Everything's packed away and ready to go. We were learning car seat the other day and stroller, stuff like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, real exciting times.
Did you have to go to a breastfeeding class? A lactating class? No?
No.
Where you guys having where you having the baby?
Lankenau.
Okay. That's a great hospital. So we went to Paoli for all three, and they offer this class. I don't think you have to take it, but they offer this class, and it's taught by, she calls herself Boob Donna. Like legitimately that's her name. And then when you see her, because everybody knows who she is, and then so she is the expert in breastfeeding. Because as you have children, you will learn that and you know this with moms that can't, like the child won't latch on or they can't produce the breast milk or whatever. And the people that typically everything goes right for them, they take the baby, they stick it on the boob, and the baby's like gobble, 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 drink, 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 and it's fine. A lot of people aren't like that. We didn't have problems with breastfeeding, but we went to this, it's almost like an hour-long class, and it gives you you're supposed to bring out like a baby or a doll with you, like a fake baby or a doll with you. So, yeah, so we did it.
We're going into this whole parenting thing. We're raw dogging it for sure.
Well, that's how you got into this.
Yeah, might as well just keep going.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, no classes, no Lamaze classes, no birthing classes, no nothing.
I don't think they even do Lamaze classes anymore.
We
didn't do that.
No freaking idea. So we're flying by the seat of our pants, and hopefully we figure it out pretty quick.
Yes, lactation consultant. Thank you, AJ. That is correct. Boob Donna was a lactation consultant. And then she comes and then you have the baby, and then she drops by in the hospital. She's like, hey.
Here I am to play with your boobs.
Yep. There you go.
That'd be a good gig for a guy.
Listen, I don't. I wouldn't need to get certified in being a lactation expert, because then I would be considered a pervert. Because there's those adult babies that those weirdos like that. What is going on with my microphone? One thing here, Vince. I gotta call you out, Vince. Dennis Cook played for he was a I don't know if it was a trade deadline or after the trade deadline, but it was the same year as Turk Wendell. So if that was 2001, they got both Dennis Cook and Wendell. And I didn't Google that. I just know it because I was a big Dennis Cook fan when he was a Philly. He came over with Charlie Hayes, Terry Mulholland, and that was the Bedrosian trade. Terry Mulholland, Charlie Hayes, and Dennis Cook came from the Giants to the Phillies. Yeah, he pitched in 19 games in 2001. The Dennis Cook for the Fighting Phils.
You literally could have made all those names up, and I would have no idea.
Terry Mulholland?
No.
Terry Mulholland. He was a starter on the '93 team. Terry Mulholland was a really good left-handed starter. I think he pitched into his 40s too, Terry Mulholland. But he was with the Phillies for a good maybe 8 years or something like that. Let me see. He pitched. He had a 20-some-year career. He pitched for the Phillies from 1989 until 1993 was his last year. I did not know that with the Phillies, but he pitched. He came back and pitched for him. Yeah, he pitched for a lot of teams. He was one of those left-handers that just could pitch forever back in the day when they would be like, "Oh, you're left-handed, you can go to the bullpen and you can be that face one batter." You can't do it anymore because they have to face multiple batters.
Thank God.
Yeah, how much does it slow down the game?
Dude, I don't know how much of the game you got to watch tonight, but they were referencing like Nomar like doing his glove thing back in the day. And I got like PTSD to watching Yankees Red Sox games for 5 hours because
Oh my God. Oh my God.
How long all those things took.
Not fun. Baseball's so much better right now. Well, the Phils get the win, but the big story today, and this is like some people are legitimate knuckle draggers. There's other people that are like okay, you probably don't really realize how it is, or there's just takers that like. And I love Joe Giglio, and I think Joe Giglio is good on the radio. Was there any doubt he was going to come on the radio today and say that Rob Thompson made a mistake by benching Nick Castellanos? I would have bet any of my kids that was going to happen today. Somebody had to do it because that's the way that it works. Somebody's got to do it. And I mean, like calling Rob Thompson soft. And I mean, like, I thought the whole thing was that he was the player's manager and he wouldn't have the balls to sit somebody and publicly actually call him out for it. So Steve, I don't know what you thought, but if Rob Thompson decided that what Nick Castellanos said to him when he took him out of the game for a defensive replacement, if he thought that he needed to not only bench him and break I didn't realize Nick Castellanos had played that many games in a row, like 230-some games in a row, which is crazy to think. He pretty much plays every game. But like, if he decided he was not only going to say it, but then he was going to publicly say that's the reason he was sitting, something tells me Castellanos was pretty out of line, and this was something that needed to happen. But your thoughts on the situation?
So, first, like, I don't know. When it comes to, I guess this kind of like goes to like my thought process, like with Tortorella too. Like we went over that. Like, but like I don't know. I feel like you should be as like you're getting paid millions and millions of dollars. Like this isn't high school baseball where okay, like if you get pulled from like I got pulled from a hockey game and bitched out my coach in hockey. I didn't play for a couple games. Like, and that's like a respect. Like you're a child to an adult. Where like these are grown men. You should be able to. In my opinion, I feel like it's just like, all right, you said something, I said something. It's like, all right, whatever. It's just squash and just be done with it. But it's like, if he's so bad defensively that you're taking him out of the game in a late game situation, why does he have this streak in the first place? Like everyone else that's bad defensively or a bad hitter doesn't have a streak like this.
Right. Well, I mean, it doesn't affect his streak if he's taken out early. But to your point, he hadn't really been. They have not. I'm saying replaced him.
I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna bench him, like like the punishment is you're benching him, right? So you're ruining the streak over this argument or whatever. But like it comes, like you took him out for like he got pissed off for a defensive replacement. If you're using a defensive replacement on him, is like how has it got to the point where he's gotten this far and into this streak where you haven't had him off for a game because you had weaker outfields, which they have had the last couple of years. Right. And it's just like, why isn't this happen more often if you want him as a defensive replacement where that's a conversation you've had with him that's going to be a plan in late game situations.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good point. Was he taken by surprise? Cause they really haven't done this. And like, I don't know if Rob Thompson has to tell Castellanos like, hey, listen, I may take you out of the game for defense. I mean, I guess he could have done that. Reality was they were going in the bottom of the eighth. Castellanos he was the first out. Was he the first out or the last out of that last inning? I know he flew out in the top of the inning. And Castellanos, when you look at a couple metrics, and I saw somebody post this, he's the worst defensive right fielder in the league.
Right.
Right? So this is what happens to players that are out there for their offense. When you get a lead, it's 3-1. The Marlins have 6 at bats left. He was just up in that top of the inning. He comes out. It happens all the time. So he better get used to this. Because if Rob Thompson took him out and now you have a stronger outfield with Kepler, with Marsh, and with Rojas, guess what, Nick? You're going to have to deal with it. And I appreciate the fact that you want to be in the game and it pissed you off. But clearly, whatever he said, I don't know if it was like when Rob Thompson said he crosses the line, to me, he must have really crossed the line. And like, it's one thing to argue with your manager or have a disagreement with your manager, but if you show him up and you say things that are he publicly said he crossed the line, Well, like, I got to support Rob Thompson here because
Well-
Rob Thompson gets shit on all the time for being soft on his players. This isn't being soft on a player at all. I give him credit.
And then and I guess it also depends on okay, it's like if you and I are having a conversation with just us, no one else is listening, and I cross the line with you, and you say that's messed up to me, and we squash it there. It's all right, was it in that kind of situation, or was it in front of the whole clubhouse? Was it in front of multiple players on the team? I guess that all kind of plays into it too. But I just feel if it's if it was a one-on-one conversation and he crossed the line, what does he have to do to cross the line? Just F you? That's bullshit.
So
I would need to know what crosses the line.
I don't think this was a one-on-one conversation. I think that he was told that he was leaving the game and he freaked out. Let's face it. And I like Nick Castellanos a lot. Right? He brings an element to a clubhouse that he's on edge all the time. He's a lunatic. But that's good. You need guys like that in the clubhouse. But they can't go overboard. And this guy, if Topper's sitting him down, I don't know what type of language he's using. I don't know what he said to him. It's one thing to I'd be pissed off too, honestly. And I would probably just look straight ahead, and I might use the F word and curse and walk back into the clubhouse and chill out, and then come back out and then sit on the bench and don't say anything and just cool off. That couldn't be what happened here.
Right. I agree.
If Rob Thompson is not only going to bench you, but then publicly say he got benched for crossing the line, then that's a major problem. And you know what? I think that it's over. It better be over because Nick Castellanos is a pro. I respect him. I think he'll move on. And I don't know if they took him out tonight.
No, he made the game winning. He made the game winning.
Oh yeah, he did.
At the end.
That's what someone just said.
What a fitting ending after 2 days of this bullshit.
But I also hope that Topper doesn't leave him in the game because he's afraid of getting cursed at.
Well,
by Castellanos.
They asked him if he was going to do it going forward. He said probably not tonight. So
right.
It's so to me it sounds like he's definitely going to be doing it going forward. Just wasn't going to do it right after the volcano erupted.
Do you know if I say Black Friday for the Phillies, you know what that is?
No.
Black Friday for the Phillies was the 1977 NLCS against the Dodgers. And Greg Luzinski, who was an all-star player, it was a slugger, a major slugger in the 70s where home runs, not everybody was hitting home runs. Luzinski, Schmidt, these guys were legit all-stars. And they left Greg Luzinski in the game instead of substituting for him defensively. And he misplayed a ball and then it ended up costing them, and they lost. I think that was game 4. And I was alive, but not really. But yeah, it was game 3. They lost 6-5, and then they went on and they lost game 4. But it was called Black Friday because Danny Ozark didn't take Greg Luzinski out, which is what he had done during the season. So this happens all the time is my point. If you suck in the outfield, you're coming out of the game. It doesn't matter who you are. So he better get used to it if he's going to suck in the outfield.
Yeah, I mean, our outfield is pretty it's pretty brutal defensively.
It sure is.
Yeah.
All right.
So there you go.
There you go. So the Phillies win, feeling good about them. Up and down, 9-1, 1-9. They won 5 straight. Now they won another one. So what's that? 6 of 7. So there you go. There you go. Welcome to baseball. Yep. I guess the other big story is Bryce Harper probably more injured than once he went on the IL, I said, he's going to miss some time. I didn't believe this was a 10-day stint. I don't know when he's going to be back. I know today they said he's almost back to throwing, but he also didn't go on this road trip, or at least to start the road trip. So
yeah, it's been. I mean, how long has it been since this IL stint? It's been over a week at least, right?
When was he? I don't even know when. It's been at least.
Let's see.
It's been at least 2 weeks, right? Something like
that.
So 11 days ago, he was placed on the IL. So, yeah, he'll probably be 2, if not 3 weeks if he's going to start throwing again. Here's the bottom line. Take off to the All-Star break if you want to, bro. Get healthy. Phillies are still winning games, right? They're not their record with Bryce Harper and without Bryce Harper is pretty similar if you look at it. So, like, I want Bryce Harper back at 100%. I don't need him rushing back because he's trying to get back with this wrist. So, like, get well and get well soon.
I just feel like the offense doesn't have any pop without him in the lineup right now. It's just.
I don't think they have Pop in it with him in the lineup. How about that?
Well, he came back for what? One game and hit a home run in his first at bat. They scored 7 runs in the first inning.
Yep. Well, Schwarber's not doing much right now.
Dude,
it feels like
Schwarber's killing me, man. He's killing me.
Yeah, are you doing home run props every night? Is that your problem?
Not anymore.
No.
The beginning of the month, I swear to God, I would do like 3 days in a row of doing it. It's like, all right, it's bound to happen. Then I'd miss the start of the game, and it's like, oh, home run in the first inning. I'm like,
Trey Turner hitless. He had hit home runs in 2 consecutive games. Schwarber 0 for 5, 2 strikeouts. He's down to 240. Bryson Stott 2 for 3 with that home run that we talked about. And Mundo Sosa got to start tonight as Otto Kemp sat. Bohm had a 3-hit game. Alec Bohm, for all the bitching and complaining,
his average
291, dude.
It was funny because when we were talking about him struggling, like, I don't know, was that a month and a half ago, 2 months ago at this point?
April.
And I just remember like sitting there thinking in my head, I'm like, we're bitching about this now, and by the end of the year, he's going to be hitting 285, yada yada. And I didn't say it out loud. And then the other day, I saw that he was like 287. And I'm like, there it is.
Yep. Yeah, he's gonna have 15 home runs. He has
gonna end up with 90 something RBIs probably.
Maybe not. I don't think he actually. Let me see what he has right now. He's got 33 RBIs, so you're not that far off from it. He's got 80. He's got 7 home runs. Yeah, like he's gonna look at get his baseball card. I don't even know if they have him anywhere. Look at the back of it. That's what he's gonna be. He's a 280 hitter with 85, 90 RBIs. And right now he's their offense. Him and Trey Turner. Castellanos had 2 hits tonight. Or no, is this did they win 4-2? Yeah, Castellanos had 2 hits tonight.
They also did you catch that? The weird fielder's choice thing?
Yeah.
I was just like, how are they not fixing this? I mean, they got it. I mean, it didn't really change anything, but
no.
It was just I'm like, all right, that's weird.
Ranger Suarez now 6-1. Delco Steve.
Dude,
he has been tremendous.
He's a stud. He had the first start back was bad, and every
I think his first. I think one of his first 2 starts was really bad, and the other one was So his first start was 7 earned runs, and then he went 7 no runs, 7 3 runs, 6 2/3 no runs, 6 innings no runs, and then he's given up 3 runs in his last start, 20 innings. ERA's down to a 2.2, I think now. Yep, 2.2. Ranger Suarez. So I had mentioned this recently on Philly with John Marks on PHLY. Part of the problem with Aaron Nola, and yeah, I'm going to keep saying it because everybody out there that telling me I don't know squat, I don't know baseball, blah, 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 blah. All right? I know Aaron Nola, he takes the ball every five days, blah, 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 blah. You can't sign Ranger Suarez now because Aaron Nola has an untradeable contract. Everybody knows that, right? Like, if you didn't have Aaron Nola and you weren't tied to this contract, because you can't pay Ranger Suarez $25 million a year, can you? Because what he's doing right now, he ran out of gas last year, but this is now 2 consecutive seasons where he came out of the gate, and he came out hot, and he was hurt to start the season. If I'm a team out there that needs a starting pitcher, what am I giving him? 5 for 125?
Yeah, I mean, it's like just the going rate of business right now. Like, what did Taijuan Walker get?
4 for 72.
Well, it's more than that.
Right. And Ranger Suarez does it in the postseason. He's versatile and will come out of the bullpen in the postseason. The dude's just like ice in the veins.
He's a fielding freak, too.
It's such a great point. He's so underrated as a fielder. And, like, man, he may not throw 95 or 96, but God,
he's also
he hits his spots, man.
I was going to say, he's never throwing it straight down the middle at 91, though.
No, and he runs it up there a little bit. All right, so here's the question, and Kevin, it's a great one. Can they re-sign him? Can they re-sign him? Like, realistically, they need bullpen help, and the problem is when you're paying Aaron Nola $25 million a year, you don't have a lot of wiggle room. You don't have young players that are coming up in the bullpen that don't cost a lot of money. It's one thing, like Kerkering doesn't make a lot of money because he's under control. He's not even in arbitration yet. That's great. but there's nobody else coming up through the minors that's making a lot of money. Otto Kemp, he's not making a lot of money. Where's he playing? Right? Like Bohm's going to make more money next year and then final year before he's a free agent. You're going to have to re-sign Schwarber. If you're going to re-sign Schwarber, he's going to make a lot of money. So I don't know if they can re-sign him. I don't know if they can look at their rotation. Where are you fitting them in?
I was about to say more than anything, where's the spot in the starting lineup or the starting rotation, I should say.
Wheeler, right?
Yep.
Wheeler, Luzardo, Chris Sanchez. Luzardo signed through next season. Chris Sanchez 3. If you can move Aaron Nola, God bless you. I don't know how that's happening. 4. Isn't Andrew Painter supposed to be a starter? 5.
Yep.
Mick Abel, unless he's being used as a chip at the trade deadline.
Right.
6. And then you have who am I missing? Oh, and then you have Ranger Suarez.
Yeah, you didn't even say Suarez.
And you have Taijuan Walker under contract too, who you might be able to move in the offseason. So what do you do with your rotation?
Is this his 3rd year or 4th year?
Who?
Walker.
3rd. He's one more year.
God, sheesh. It's the longest 4-year contract ever.
Yeah, exactly. And he's not even that bad this year. But yeah, so
no, he's been fine this year. It's like if you had that the last couple of years, you wouldn't even have this whole stockpile because you wouldn't even been, force feeding the situation.
Trade Luzardo in the offseason. I don't. Maybe they try to extend Luzardo. I mean, I don't. You're obviously going to see how he's doing the rest of the season. I don't know.
I feel like with this kind of like weird stretch that he's been on, I feel like you need to see a little bit more. He came out on fire, and then he had the 2 bad starts, bounced back last week, and then was so again. Was that last night or 2 nights ago?
2 nights ago, I think.
No, last night they lost.
Well, it was last night. Yeah, because he hit a so-so. He gave up 4 runs. It was all right. What the? Sorry, I'm having problems with my.
Oh, look at that! Look at all the stuff in your background. You're filling it out.
Oh, can you see it? Hold on. I'm trying to adjust my. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I got everything.
It looks good.
Yeah, I got drawings from
your wife made the background. That's nice of you.
Isn't that nice of me?
It's very nice of you.
Yep, I have that. Oh, I was at the game on Saturday night, and I got it was just for kids, but it was Kyle Schwarber. It's like a smaller bobblehead, but nevertheless, it's a bobblehead. Yeah, so it's
yours. So you stole it from one of your daughters.
Well, the problem is that there's 3 of them. So like, what do I do with them? There's so much crap in their room that I wasn't even like, hey, take this up to your room, because we did that with Trey Turner and it just sat in the box. I'm like, you know what, you guys, and we also got 2 balls too. We had such a good time at the game. It was awesome. We sat, and I got the tickets off of Game Time, and because like, if you remember on Saturday, Steve, the weather was kind of crappy.
Yep.
It rained pretty much all day until the game started at 4. But the weather forecast was spot on. It's like, it's going to clear up. It's not going to be wet for the game. And then it's going to rain pretty much like at night. And it did.
And everyone sold their tickets for dirt cheap.
So Saturday morning, we sat 3 rows off section 101, which is in the outfield next to the bullpen.
Yep.
Under face value. Got 5 under face value. It was awesome. And we had a great time. The girls got a couple of balls. We caught a ball from the bullpen. They threw up to her.
Were you in the little triangle?
Yes. The little triangle. Yep. It was great. We had a great time. It was awesome. My little girl, I was worried because last year when we went, she was a real pain in the ass. Yeah, she's 3. So for her to sit through an entire game, it's like, all right. So I was worried that was going to happen. She was good. Made it all the way to like the bottom of the 7th. And then I'm like, all right, I got to go take her she wants to run around a little bit. So we ran around by the statues and stuff in center field.
I was gonna say, are you right near like where they have like the wiffle ball and all that?
Well, we didn't go to the wiffle ball. We went the other way. There's like a 20 statue. It just has the number 20. It has the retired.
Yeah.
Has Robin Roberts. It has like a replica of the 2 trophies of 80 and 08. So I took some pictures and stuff. So yeah, it was cool. We had a great time. Weather was perfect too, man. It wasn't hot, wasn't sunny. It was awesome.
It's like I heard on XTU the other day, they were saying it rained like the last 17 Saturdays in a row.
Pretty much.
I'm like, I started thinking about it. Well, definitely the last 4, because that's as far back as I could think.
That's going to be over soon.
God, I hope.
Well, did you see the forecast for next week?
100 on Tuesday. I'm gonna melt and die.
Sunday, and this is in Collegeville. Sunday 95, Monday 98, Tuesday 97, Wednesday 95, Thursday 95, Friday 92. All the green grass that I have in my backyard. Give it about 10 days and it'll be dead.
It'll be brown.
It'll be brown for sure.
Dude, yeah. I redid my concrete out front of my house, so I moved my concrete steps that go down to the street instead of going straight out. It goes off to the side, so I had to re-level it and reseed it and everything. I just finally started getting grass growing, and I'm terrified next week.
You have to water it.
Yeah, I've already been having to water it like crazy, and it's not 100 degrees.
Yep. I gotta actually. I was pissed. It rained up here, 5, 6 o'clock tonight. I was hoping to get out there before I came on and do a 45 minutes of mowing to get a lot of it done, and then go out with the weed whacker tomorrow. And so I have a zero turn, a Toro zero turn, and then this year I bought a battery powered smaller mower, which is awesome because I have the swing set and just to
go around that stuff.
Yeah, man, because otherwise it takes a long time with the weed whacker and stuff. But I don't know your philosophy on mowing, but I like to whack first and then mow and then blow, if that makes sense. Whack, mow, blow. But tomorrow I'm gonna mow, whack, blow.
So I also whack, mow, blow, but because I have a battery, a Milwaukee weed whacker, so it's got the batteries.
Yeah, I have the battery too.
So if my batteries die and run out, it's also all right. Well, I'll get them on the charger. Right. Then I'll go mow, and then if I have more whacking to do, I go back to the whacking.
Same philosophy.
Before I blow.
Same philosophy, because often I have the Cobalt, and by the way, totally recommended the ones you get at Lowe's. I've had it for 10 years. I probably need a new battery because it's not lasting as long as it once did.
Yeah,
that's but I get about 3/4 of the yard done, but then it goes, and I make sure it's a full charge when I start.
On the mower?
No, on the weed whacker.
Okay, yeah.
So then I go in and I charge it, and then you're right, I'll jump on the mower. So I do whack, mow, blow, but mowing, whacking, and sometimes you got to do that.
So, it all depends on what I'm doing. If it's I need a full blown edge day, I need 3 batteries. It takes me a while. I'm also not as proficient at it as others.
Oh, dude, I can't wait to get out there. The grass is really long. I love the way it looks after I cut it too.
I also love mowing my back lawn because it's perfect as is, and it's just it's just cruising around, walking out front. There's a hill, got to dodge shit, the sidewalk.
Oh man,
I mowing out back is an enjoyment. Mowing out front is not.
Yeah, because it's like you're in a video game, but not a fun one.
Correct.
There you go. All right, what do we want to do next? 76ers or WIP top 11 list? Your thoughts? Did you catch it? Did you catch any of it? Because a lot of times you're off the radar and you're not paying attention.
No, about stuff. No, I'm not listening to WIP and the Fanatic anymore.
Well, I'm not listening to them either, but it was hard to miss this. And it's all fake, and it's calculated. It's not genuine. It's done specifically to get a reaction, which it did. Joe DeCamera did a top 11 Philadelphia athlete list and left Jalen Hurts off the top 11.
Yeah. Okay. What was any rationale behind it?
Oh, I didn't listen to it. I don't care, because I'm sure he had his reasonings for the air. If you are, and here's the reality, it's effective. It'll work. Look at their ratings. They're killing it. The morning show's ratings are killing it. And then what happens? The camera says it. It gets put out on social media. And then the rest of the station reacts to it. Ike yells at him. I don't know if he called in. He has to call into the afternoon show. Ike tears him a new a-hole. The next day, he's got to respond to it. It probably fed their programming for a couple of days. Honestly, it did. And the
WWE script.
Dude, it's the WWE. It is. Yeah, he had Ranger Suarez on it. He had Zach Bond at 7. I'm not even going to pull the list up because it's phony. It's just phony.
Who was one?
I don't I don't know.
I'm waiting for you
AJ
to say,
Brown
like,
or
I was going to say like Joel Embiid.
do I got to pull it up now?
I just wanted to know. Nah, I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to. But like, I was just curious who number one was.
No, I didn't want to, like, I wasn't even going to pull it up because if it's not real, then it's not real. So why should I? But like, so I'd put a tweet out, and I love everybody over at WIP, even Joe DeCamera, right? I miss them. They're all my friends. I love my time there. They're all great people. Everybody at WIP, I genuinely like all of them. I was a part of the take culture for a while. When I went over there and Spike was the program director, if you, I have to be honest and say that there were many, many, many times that I was just saying what I had to say to get through the day, because that's kind of how the station was at that time. And there are a lot of people that still continue to do that. I don't believe a word that they say. This is a form of entertainment and art. That is what they're doing. They're playing contrarian. They're playing aside. That's what they're doing. When Rod Lakin took over for Spike, I said to myself, I'm not doing this anymore. I know there's some days where I kind of want to take a different stance because it's fun and I can appreciate it. And maybe some of it believes it and some of it doesn't. But I stopped just doing stuff because I felt like I had to be the guy to do stuff. Yeah. Joe DeCamera right now, everything that he does, he acts like he has to be the guy that has to do stuff to get a reaction. Like that's his role. And man, like if that's what you want to do and it's bringing him success and money and everything else, God bless you. I ain't doing that. It's embarrassing and it's disingenuous. And frankly, I've talked my whole life about this Eagles team winning Super Bowls, and they start winning Super Bowls and they've been to 2 of the last 3.
And now we're going to diss them.
And now we're dissing Jalen Hurts because it's the easiest thing to do for content. Like, come on, dude, that's pathetic and embarrassing. It just is.
I mean, I don't like. So we agree that Skip is kind of like the originator of like this kind of culture.
It's no like, but like Skip created this. Yeah,
that's what I mean.
He totally did.
I remember watching Cole Pizza, Woody Page, and Skip Bayless and being like, this show's awesome. Like when they would talk sports and go over like the news of the day and all that kind of stuff. And then when it turned into Skip being his like take artist and he took over, I was like, all right, this like I remember hating it in the like Jump Street.
I hated it too.
And like I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't sit on like some hill for some takes where it's like, oh, I'll die on this hill and it's not the popular opinion. But I'm also I'll also admit that it's like, all right, it's not popular opinion. Like I'm sitting in a hockey group chat last night with my friends last night. And like all of them are rooting for the Oilers. I'm like no, like, I cannot stand the Oilers. I will die on this hill before I start rooting for them. Like that's fine, but like that's also like not taking it. That's not a take, but it's like I don't know. I just can't stand the idea of like, oh, you do things to just get a rise out of people. Never liked it. It's like you could call a spade and say it's like it is what it is, but then when you start making stuff up to act like it's not that anymore, I'm out of it.
It is like sometimes you have natural disagreements, and I think you try to find natural disagreements with your co-host because it makes it entertaining. Like what they're doing on FS1 and the Skip Bayless, like now every show is a take show. It's exhausting, and I don't think anybody really wants to watch it, but they're doing it. No, like they're getting clips and they piss people off with what they're doing. But Joe DeCamera is no different than Chubby Chase Daniel or any of these other guys that are just saying stuff to say stuff. I mean, honestly, like this is Chris Sims level stuff, except he's hosting a morning show in Philadelphia, the flagship station of the Eagles. Why would you want to do that? He had to be the anti-Hurts guy last year. I'm not going to be the anti-Hurts guy. I was because I didn't believe in him. At one point, I was like, I don't think Jalen Hurts is good enough to win a Super Bowl. And I was dead freaking wrong. And I'm not going to double down on it now.
Yeah, well, we talked about that after, going into or the year after the first Chiefs Super Bowl and then watching him progress. It's like, all right, yeah, he's ascending. And then he just downturned the season after the Super Bowl. And it's just like, all right, well, now you have to prove it to me again. Like,
and he did.
I'm not just going to assume like we sat here going like, all right, he might not be a top 5 quarterback going into last season, but we changed our tune right away as soon as the season turned out the way it was going. Like, we weren't the ones sitting there going, oh, this passing offense isn't working. We're like, no, they're winning games and the offense is functioning. Who cares how they're doing it?
And shouldn't he be applauded for not having an ego and not caring how many passing yards he has? And it wasn't all about him. I mean, again, ever since I was a young dude, the only thing I ever wanted was for the Eagles to win a Super Bowl. That was it. If you could say, give me one wish, one sports wish, it was the Eagles to win a Super Bowl. They've been to 2 of the last 3, and Jalen Hurts would have won 2 MVPs if not for a bad call or if they would have gotten the ball back 3 years ago. All he's done is backed up everything.
I mean, he's outplayed Patrick Mahomes at 2 Super Bowls.
Unbelievable.
And people are talking about Patrick Mahomes chasing down Brady.
And Bill Colarulo actually texted me earlier. Bill, I gotta text you back. He got me when I was trying to put the kids to sleep. Yeah, there is an alternative. Bill Colarulo in the afternoons with Ricky Batalico. And they were giving good takes on the Rob Thompson situation today. But I would say, Bill, of all the clips that I saw, Crossing Broad did a write-up on all the different hosts and what they said. And, of course, Giglio said it was the wrong thing to do. Colarulo nailed it. He did. He absolutely nailed it. Not surprised, Bill. But, like, if this is what they want to do, and this is what the morning show on WIP, the flagship of the Eagles, if this is what they want to do for entertainment, that's fine. I will never, ever, ever, ever do this type of radio again.
So
ever.
You would know better than I. There's got to be some kind of communication between Eagles, somebody in the organization, and WIP, like on a somewhat regular basis. Wouldn't you think?
They're pretty good about it. I was never ever told anything by management about anything that I said about the Eagles. And I you know me, I can blow a gasket sometimes. Oh, like they've never said anything. Now, do they have conversations with Rod and David Yageroff and people like that? They're pretty good about realizing.
Just letting it go.
Yeah, but you know why? Because it's like as toxic and negative as it can be. If all they do is talk about the Eagles, isn't that good for the Eagles?
Yep.
You know how many people
all publicity is good publicity. First thing they teach you in college.
It's all they do is, I mean, like, to the detriment, people are like, oh, all they do is talk Eagles. Yeah, they talk a lot of Eagles. So I think they realize
that's all 90% of what people want to listen to.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And
I will say for the NFL, their out of season is actually interesting compared.
It's better than any season of any other sport.
Yeah,
it's a 12-month season. If you look around,
dude, baseball off season, I'd rather shoot myself in every one of my toes one at a time.
Yeah, it's
so slow. There's nothing happening, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's 2 weeks before training camp, and all these guys get signed.
So you start really paying attention. NBA playoffs. You're watching the Flyers all year. That doesn't give you any reward. And then you have the NHL playoffs if you're into that. Baseball is if the Phillies aren't good or out of it, I'm not even watching baseball. I pretty much have no interest unless it's the Phillies, right? The NFL,
Yep.
I have more interest in free agency and the draft than I do any other, maybe other than the Phillies, than anything else in sports. There's very few slow periods. So guess what? If you look around, Colin Cowherd, all the ESPN programming, FS1 programming, national sports radio, local sports radio is run by the NFL. And that's not going to change, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not. Is it overdone? Like, I'll give you an example. I saw there's a website, Awful Announcing, and I love Awful Announcing. It's great. It pretty much gets everything that's in the media on sports, and it writes about it, and you'll see it or whatever. And one of their writers was bitching on, I guess it was Monday. They did a segment where they were talking about Dak Prescott's legacy, and they clipped it. And they're like, really? Game 5 of the NBA Finals, and they're talking about Dak Prescott? The U.S. Open, and they're talking about Dak Prescott? Yeah, they're talking about Dak Prescott. There was a finals game that night. What do you want them to do, spend 2 hours previewing a finals game? There hadn't been a finals game since Friday. That's one segment. That's a one segment about the finals coming up that night. The next day is when they do heavy reaction to it. So, yeah, they are going to do NFL talk on a day like that. And F the U.S. Open. It wasn't even a competitive U.S. Open. There's a rain delay.
That was a brutal ending. Brutal ending to the U.S. Open.
I didn't watch any of it. I don't care. I don't need to. You know what I'm doing? If you start talking about the U.S. Open, I'm turning it off. So stop bitching about the end. But yeah, so yes, WIP is always going to go heavy Eagle stuff. But everything that they do, like the top 11 list itself, was a great idea. And I'm sure it was really fun radio to listen to. Callers fighting with the hosts fighting with the callers, hosts fighting with the hosts. Joe DeCamera leaving Jalen Hurts off of a top 11 list is about the most disingenuous fake thing that I've seen anybody in the Philadelphia media do. And why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that? We've waited our whole life to have this Eagles team, our whole life. And now this is what we're doing. We're trying to tear them down. During the season last year, I get it. You had to be the guy, and maybe you really didn't believe that Jalen Hurts was going to be good enough to lead the team.
Right.
Maybe you didn't believe that. When they win the Super Bowl, you got to get off it.
And he wins Super Bowl MVP on top of it.
Period. He's a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we talking about here? And you leave him off a list. It's
just, I mean, you could have probably put him at 7 and 8 or whatever and got the same reaction, and just, it would have been the same exact thing.
I mean, listen, I'm tuning in. I'm hearing Ricky Bo telling stories that I've never heard him tell before. Bill, listen, if you haven't checked them out, Bill and Ricky, Unfiltered with Ricky Battalico and Bill Colarulo on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philly's first FM sports station.
When are you going to get into the voiceover game?
Never. I don't have the voice to do voiceover.
If you fake one, you do.
Yeah. When you hear the real voice guys, you know when you're not a real voice guy. I'm not a real voice guy. These guys are unbelievable. Some of them, and I've heard this about Scott Graham, and I've heard this from a couple people with Scott Graham. I don't know if it's still true, but he wouldn't stop smoking because he wanted that voice to sound like
raspy
that.
Voice.
Yeah.
That's great. I gotta give myself lung cancer to keep my job.
Yeah. Yes. Well, how else am I going to pay? Like, give me the shots of whiskey or whatever. Bill and Mike was a good show, him and Ricky. Why isn't Bill and Ricky on YouTube? Because they are on NBC Sports Philadelphia, and I'm sure NBC Sports Philadelphia would not be happy if they were also available live on YouTube. Would be my guess, Kevin.
That would make sense.
Yep. That is the reason. There is a partnership, and you don't want to give them another alternative to that. So make sure you check him out. And listen, Ike and Spike and Jack are my boys, and they'll always be my boys. But Bill is also my boy. So
it's also, like you said, it's just it's a different alternative to listening about sports.
Right. No, I mean it is it, and I'm totally. Oh, I'm changing my camera, talking with my hands. Stop it! Don't do it. All right, there it is. It's different with what WIP does. It doesn't mean that it can't be equally as entertaining. It doesn't mean that one thing WIP does it very well is they keep it entertaining. So when there isn't a lot of things going on in sports, trust me, the reason why they're doing a top 11 list right now is because it's a slow time in sports. It's not the All-Star break yet, but the Eagles aren't doing anything. There's not a lot to talk about with the Eagles. The Phillies are going through a long season. The 76ers actually getting a lot with the draft with the 76ers. So this is when you do this. This is when you do these type of things. And honestly, it's something I would like to see the Fanatic do a little bit more of, which is some out-of-the-box thinking, which is to come up with some ideas to where you're just not living and dying on day-to-day sports talk. When Spike was program director and we went into the pandemic, every other station in the country just said, well, we're going to have to go day to day. The problem is when you're not reacting to any sports because there's not sports, then what are you talking about? It gets real old real fast. So Spike had said, listen, we'll die if we do that. So we need to come up with some ideas. So we had the GOAT of Broad Street. We had it seemed like every other week we were doing these different lists to where it's all right, who is the greatest of all time on Broad Street? And then people were able to vote, and we declared a winner. And then we brought Mike Schmidt on the air after Allen Iverson was declared the best player of all time in Philadelphia. And Mike Schmidt was like, who was first? And he's like, really? He was shocked that he got beat up by Allen Iverson, which is kind of ridiculous. But yeah, so
who?
Right. And you could tell he was annoyed by it. But we did different things like that. And when you looked at the ratings, and there were so few people listening to the radio, but it's the way radio ratings work is it's about shares. So if there's 1 million people listening or there's 1,000 people listening, it's still about how many people are listening to the number of people. So WIP's ratings were unbelievable. And then you look around the country, and sports radio had no one was listening to sports radio because they were still trying to do the day-to-day stuff.
And there was nothing to talk about.
Nothing to talk about, man. So Spike really, that's where I was like, damn, this dude's really smart and he knows what he's doing. And it really elevated his status in programming. He got that job up at WFAN and made a lot of money up there. And then he came back down to Philly. But that's the influence of Spike, is that he has these that's a great idea. A top 11 list. And I know the 11 was Spike because he wouldn't do 10. He would only do 11. I mean, it's interesting because people ask, why is it 11? Well, you're asking why it's 11. That's why it's 11. So
I would have went for 11 football players, but that's just me.
Yep. Well, there you go.
That's the only thing I would have thought of.
Well, anybody can do 10, right? Like a top 3. Well, why would you do 3? It's harder to do 4, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so I mean, shout out to WIP. It's a great idea. They executed it. I'm sure their ratings will be higher this week than it would have been before because people are angry and they want to call in and be angry. I mean, it works. Just
the fact that people at this stage in the trolling or take era still fall for it so easily. It's I love when I see a post on Instagram. It's just I can't wait to go to the comments, and I can guarantee I can predict the first 5 comments that people. It's just because people just fall for it. It's just right into the trap.
Right. And you'll see the replies on Twitter. Everybody's bitching and saying, well, and today they did this. Well, you're listening to it. There's another station, if you want to listen to Andrew Salchunas and John Kincaid, try them out, right? No, it's the Howard Stern thing where people are listening and they hate it, but because they hate Howard Stern, but they're still listening. I just can't, to me, it's just not entertaining. Tearing down our own team. Believe me. There's enough time you can be pissed at her.
I was literally about to say, I say this all the time. I say this about myself. I'm going to give you plenty of opportunities to be pissed off at me. There's no reason to be pissed off at me when I haven't done anything yet. It's
right.
It's the same thing for sport. All right, eventually someone's going to say something or do something that we can rip them apart, say whatever, and this, that, and the other thing. So it's just a matter of time.
That's correct. It'll happen. Nick Castellanos, Rob Thompson. People are mad at Rob Thompson for benching Nick Castellanos. That's an opportunity. They didn't take somebody's head off when Bryce Harper got hit by the pitch. People are angry at that. That's when you can get angry. That's when you can yell and scream and demand that people are fired. You have plenty of opportunities to do that. By the way, the program is sponsored by Game Time. Have you seen my new Game Time commercial that I have out?
You have another new one?
Well, I put 2 out, but I did.
I haven't seen the latest one, I don't think.
So, it's not all that great. It's just that they wanted something because I was going down to the park. So they wanted me to do something down at the park, which I said, I'm like, oh, absolutely, I will. The problem is I can say I'm at the park. I can't mention the name. I can't have any type of logo on my shirt, like a Phillies logo on my shirt. I can't have anything in the background. So the background's the brick wall. So I'm down there. But let me see if I can pull it up right now.
Let's see. Let's grade your acting skills.
All right. Well, this isn't an acting thing. This is more business.
Oh, it's not hey, you want to go to the game?
No, it's not. My last
you talking to yourself?
No. What are you talking about? I was talking to my wife. Let's see here.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, your wife.
It's game time. All right, use my code XDEAL. You'll save $20 off your first purchase. So check it out. Same day tickets. I looked on the Game Time app this morning. Tickets were dropping. The weather wasn't great. I scooped up 5 tickets less than face value. Me and the family are down today. Same day tickets. Great value. Check it out, the Game Time app. And again, use my code XDEAL. You'll save $20 off your first purchase. It's game time. There you go. It's game time. There you go.
Good job.
So if you want to use the Game Time app, my code's XDEAL. Do me a favor. Go to my Twitter page if you're on Twitter right now and just retweet it or like it or something and view the video. And honestly, dude, the Game Time apps is great. And you do save. This is the first time I've used it. I saved $20 off the tickets that were less than face value. We were down there for 5 tickets. What did I spend? I think I spent like $300 for 5 tickets in the outfield with the $20 off. Yeah, oh no, believe me, it was good. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been watching the tickets. There was another game. It was a game against the Cubs because it was a Tuesday night game where tickets were going under face value. So for real, like if you're looking on the secondary market, because on Phillies.com, there aren't a lot of great tickets, especially for good games. No. So check it out. It's game time. I had another one out there too, which wasn't bad. But yeah, so definitely give me some love. And if just click on the link, that's how I really get credit. If you want to use it, click on the link and then use the code XDEAL.
And then just watch the video on repeat when you have nothing better to do.
Just watch it 1,000 times.
Just loop it.
Right, exactly. Is this the one that I did right here? Oh, I don't. Anyway, so so the 76ers are. What appears, everybody thought they're going to take Ace Bailey. And now everything that you're reading right now, it doesn't seem like they're going to take Ace Bailey. Your thoughts on the whole thing, Delco Steve?
So apparently Bailey's kind of doing like a Shedeur Sanders and just tanking his interviews. I don't understand why. I don't know what his prerogative and where he would want to go play.
So I don't think he's intentionally tanking it. I saw Keith Pompey. He had a tweet that was from, he said it was a Sixer source. And that like he's acting his age. He's not even 19 yet. Like, you know what I mean? He isn't 19 yet. So you have sometimes you get these kids that have been groomed from a young age, like, yo, Holmes, like you're going to be a professional, and they don't act like they're 18 when they're 18. And then you get some kids that act like they're 18. So here's what he said. He said, sources say Ace Bailey's immaturity isn't associated with being a bad person or unruly. They refer to his immaturity as age appropriate. Quote, he's not immature like a butthead. He's goofy, dancing in line. You're doing drills. He's dancing. Oh, that's my song. He's playful, which is age appropriate. And then he had more about it in his column today. I think Keith does a great job, so you should definitely check it out. He's acting like a 19-year-old. Which is tough, man, because he's playing with grown men, and you're looking for a guy that can come in right away and not be a 19-year-old. You know? So
I can't say I watched any minutes of Rutgers games this year, but for me, it's just, how do you have Harper and Bailey on the same team? They're going to be
the tournament,
the 2 and 3 picks, and they don't make the tournament. It's like, I understand there's probably wasn't a whole lot of talent on the rest of the Rutgers team, but the Big Ten was okay. It wasn't, this juggernaut laden, team. It was like the SEC, all the good teams seemed to be in the SEC, and then obviously Duke. But it's just,
Cooper Flagg is a no doubt about it #1 overall pick.
Yeah,
sometimes you get really good over #1 overall picks, and sometimes you get great #1 overall picks. That's what Cooper Flagg is. And then these guys are talent wise 2 and 3, and Ace Bailey is maybe talking his way out of being 3 because the 76ers are saying, yeah, I don't know, man. He definitely has bust potential. Ace Bailey has boom potential, and he has bust potential. And if you're the 76ers and you have a guy, VJ Edgecombe, and I'll be honest with you, Steve, I never heard his name until late in the season.
I was going to say, the SEC or the Big 12 tournament is when and then they start showing the Cooper Flagg, VJ Edgecombe, Queen, and oh my God, what was the kid's name? And for UConn, Spencer or something, maybe, I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter. Like how they all went to the same high school together. And it was just like, I'm like, how does that happen? You get those 4 studs on one team. But VJ, I remember the first game I watched him, it was just like, yo, this dude's got some bounce to him. He seems like a real explosive type player, but does he fit with Tyrese Maxey? And
yeah, I think he does. Well, he's a true point guard. It allows Maxey to play off the ball, and I don't care about the other guys that they have. Here's what I really like about him. He reminds me of Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Mitchell is all about business. He's all about football. He's just all about business. This kid, in addition to being super athletic and dunking over fools and everything else, not a great 3-point shooter. That'll come again. I think he's 19.
I'm not worried. I don't worry about that with like the young kids. It's if they're not. It's like obviously you're gonna have some guys that are gonna be more sharpshootery type players in college, but if you're an elite level talent and if you're telling me your 3-ball is your biggest deficiency, I'm okay with that. Like
he'll be fine.
You have all the time in the world to work on it.
This to me, this is a post Joel Embiid player. I don't expect Joel Embiid to be here very much longer, and you need to reestablish your culture when he's gone. And when you draft a player 3rd overall, your expectation and your anticipation is that you're going to end up paying him $250 to $500 million, which means that you're going to resign. You're like Maxey. You're going to sign him to an extension, and then you hope to sign him to another extension. So in other words, this is the guy that's going to lead your team, hopefully for the next 10 years, next 8 to 10 years, right? When you're selecting that guy, you want a guy that's all about being in the gym. That's a gym rat. That's all about business. That has this boom attitude. And Ace Bailey's everything but that. Doesn't mean that the kid can't be a great player and can't be a stud. And I'm glad that Pompey put that out there, that he's not a bad kid. He's just immature. This kid's not immature. And the Sixers can't miss with this pick. And this is a Joel Embiid, a post-Joel Embiid. He'll help this year. But this is a guy that I want as a young core leading the team forward after Embiid is gone. That's how I'm looking at this pick.
I keep seeing a lot of stuff talking about Malawach at 3, and I'm just like, I absolutely do not want that. I've seen it on 3 or 4 different occasions in the last few days, and I absolutely do not want Malawach at 3. That's my 100% do not want.
So if they trade back, and that's the other thing, there's a rumor out there that says, hey, you take Paul George, and that's your reward for getting the number 3 overall pick. That would have to be because they like a player that's not the player that you like. So are there 2 players that they like equally, and they say, hey, we can get them at 5 and we'll get rid of Paul George? So does that mean that you're admitting that signing Paul George to a max contract, and that was your plan all along, like, was a really, really bad decision, that you're willing to trade back the number 3 overall pick to get rid of the contract? Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they do.
And, I mean, if it's 3 to 5 and it's just swap out Paul George, you take Paul George's contract, honestly, I would do it.
I wouldn't. I want the player. Daryl Morey should be able to move on from that contract.
I think there's enough players there, though, in the top 5 of this draft that work. You know, this is a deep draft. This is a really deep draft for NBA standards.
All right, so USA Today, they got AI's prediction on who the Sixers draft 3rd overall, and I'm not talking about Allen Iverson or Andre Iguodala. I'm talking about artificial intelligence. So, with that being said, USA Today, Sports AI, VJ Edgecombe. Microsoft, Copilot AI, VJ Edgecombe. Google Gemini AI, Ace Bailey. Meta AI, Ace Bailey. ChatGPT, VJ Edgecombe. Grok from Twitter, VJ Edgecombe. So there you go. So if you ask AI,
how nice is it for USA Today to write a story with just telling you what AI did? You could have just did it for yourself.
Yeah, I don't. And John Kruk, I agree with you. I think it's a product of him being a young, immature kid. And will he come around? He could, Ace Bailey, but like, he's a risk. He's a high risk, high reward. He's a boomer or bust. He might be the best player of this draft, and he may be a guy that is traded before the end of his rookie contract. Who knows?
I definitely don't think no matter what the outcomes are, will he be the best player in this draft?
No. Could he be where he was picked third best player?
Yeah. He could be the second best player, but I think it's going to be Cooper Flagg, first best player, and then whoever's number 2.
All right.
I think Cooper Flagg's just going to be freaking stud.
I think he is. I think the Sixers draft Edgecombe. They stay at 3 and they draft Edgecombe. That would be my prediction right now.
Edgecombe, don't get me wrong. I'd be 100% fine with Edgecombe. I think he's an electric player. No matter whether he fits or not, I have no idea. You seem to think he does. But like I think he's got a swagger to him. He's got an energy to him that no matter what, if this team sucks or is good, he's going to be entertaining to watch.
What should the Sixers do with the 3rd pick? This is from Pompey again. You have to take him, a Western Conference scout said of Ace Bailey. But you have to really know what you're getting. He is the highest upside, but why hasn't he been more productive in the nuts and bolts, things that count? And there's little things that he doesn't do. So yeah, highest upside, but when they were asking him about kind of the circus shots that he takes, and he talked about, he says, well, I practice those shots. Like, but they're bad shots. Yeah, but I practice them. Like, all right, man. I get it. You're young, hopefully, but what if he decides that he's not?
Can you practice the good shots?
Right. Yeah. Right. Be nice. Do you think have you been watching any of the finals, Delco Steve?
Yeah, I've been locked into the finals.
But how about we talk about all the players that got away in Philadelphia? How about TJ McConnell?
Dude, that 3rd quarter the other night was.
And then Carlisle wasn't putting it in the 4th at all?
Yeah, while Halliburton's got a bum leg.
Yeah, he looked like Verbal Kint from Usual Suspects dragging that leg around. What's he doing? How do you not put TJ McConnell in, even if it's for 3, 4, 5 minutes? He didn't play. It's 13 points in the 3rd quarter.
He was the leading scorer for the team.
Let me tell you something. Do you remember when I think McConnell was getting some minutes over Ben Simmons when Simmons stopped shooting the ball and got scared? And it was like, and he was in the playoffs. I think he started a little bit in the playoffs. And it was like, I know you can't play him 30 minutes on every night because he gets exposed a little bit. This dude's got stones, though. In a big spot, I know I can count on him. And I don't know what the hell Carlisle was doing.
And I think it's like hilarious that it's like all these teams or whoever he's playing against always seems to be like, all right, we'll let you shoot. And he's just like, okay, like swish, every time.
And he's a cocky, confident player too. I love watching TJ McConnell. He's awesome.
The inbound steal he had the game they won in Indiana, I think it was like he made a basket and then like turns around and perfect interception.
No, and all in one motion he threw an alley-oop, right? So he scored the bucket, he got the steal, and then he turned all in one motion threw an alley-oop. Yep.
Oh, it was awesome. Awesome.
I love TJ McConnell. He's awesome.
Never should have let him leave.
So I don't think Halliburton plays in Game 6 because I saw the MRI was strained calf. You can't put him out there.
I think he's going to try.
Well, they shouldn't.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing that they shouldn't because I feel like anytime you get these situations where the guy tries, it's always to the detriment of the team. But I feel like they think they're up against it, which, I mean, obviously they are. And he probably is going to do have a little ego going for him and be like, they need me out there, and he's going to play.
Well, hey, listen, I'm not gonna like rip him and say it's ego when you're.
No, I think any of these players have that ego. I'm not saying
they want to be out there to help our team, even if he's 50%. You're better off with me at 50% than not.
This isn't like T.O. in his driveway ego. Like, I'm not talking that kind of.
But the thing is, they weren't better off with him on the court in the 4th quarter. I don't know what the hell Rick Carlisle was doing. I don't know what he was looking at. That was bad.
I think it was just like, it's TJ McConnell, or not TJ McConnell. Halliburton's been Mr. Clutch this whole playoff, and it's all right. If he's going to be able to be out there, he's going to gut through, and he's going to do something miraculous. I think that was the thought process, and it backfired.
This is on Bet Parks. 20 points, rebounds, and assists by player. Chet Holmgren's minus 420. Halliburton's minus 345. Miles. TJ McConnell's plus 100. So what does that tell you?
That's a high number for him.
Do you know what that tells me? That while Halliburton's minus 345, if he goes out there and he can't play, TJ McConnell's probably getting 20. He's probably getting 20 between the three. He's going to get 4 or 5 assists. If he plays 30 minutes, he's going to hit it. And I don't know how you don't play him 30 minutes. He's productive every time he's on the floor. It's unbelievable. I can't wait for this game. It's gonna be great.
I've been loving it. I'm a big Jalen Williams fan, so the last 3 games have been a lot of fun, and I've been enjoying them thoroughly.
He had 40. I mean, he had 40. SGA had 31, I guess, in Game 5. God, all the NBA haters are going to say, "Oh, look at the ratings." Man, F the ratings. I don't care about the ratings. These games have been great.
I feel like the ratings only tell you like the fair weather for fans. You know what I mean?
Sure. No, you're exactly right.
It's like you're like this finals is like this is the people that watch sports on a regular basis.
Yep. Yeah.
And you're all one of me, and I'm all one of you, and that's great. I love it.
It's also if the Lakers are in the finals, then you get the Los Angeles market. If the Knicks are in the finals, you get the New York market. If LeBron's playing in Cleveland, but it's LeBron, you get LeBron in the finals. All those things matter. The fact that SGA is the MVP, SGA is a great player. Does a casual NBA fan, could they pick SGA out of a lineup? I guarantee you they couldn't.
Not at this point, at least.
Do they really know anything about him other than maybe they've heard the name? So all those things affect ratings, and you're right. These are casual fans that aren't like. Did you see the U.S. Open? It was a weather delay, and they played Tiger. They had Tiger Woods from 2007. They put him on during the delay, and and the hardcore golf fan was mad because they wanted analysis and they wanted talk, just like a regular baseball rain delay. And you know what NBC said? Yeah, what? So everybody can stop watching. Right, like they're trying to keep viewers. And
I was locked into Twitter watching everyone's reactions, being like, "This is like I can't wait to see what he's doing next." Like this is what it was like watching Prime Tiger.
Yeah,
and it's funny because like I remember watching like Tiger win those tournaments back in the day, or in that case lose, I should say. Or no, he won that. He pulled that one out at the end.
He won, but that was day 3. They didn't
2008
play the final round. That was
2008. He lost.
Well, so someone had said the reason they didn't play the final round was because they didn't know when they were going to cut away from it. So to pull a final round where people were waiting to watch the rest of the tournament, this was the third round 3. So that's the reason they didn't show the final round, was they didn't want to have to cut away from it. Because if you're watching it, you're like, no, don't go back to the tournament. I want to see what happens.
I don't want to see the slop fest that the USGA's put out there with this impossibly to play fucking course.
Yeah, I like I said, no interest in any of that. All right, well, Delco Steve, you keep us updated on everything. All right, how many weeks away are we from the due date?
3.
But at any time, Cooper DeJean Gallo could be.
He could be here. He could be here.
All right, well, keep us updated on everything. Thank you to everybody for watching. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. on PHLY. Make sure you subscribe. Drop me a note also. Send me a DM on
Watch his Game Time video.
Watch my Game Time video. Send me cash in the mail because I desperately need it.
Yeah, that works too.
Else. Don't take a dump on Steve's car like Delco.
Definitely do not do that. I got a new truck, so definitely do not do that.
Did you really?
Yeah, a couple weeks. Someone was up with my other one, and they offered me like a great price for it. I'm like, all right, great, sweet, I'll trade it in. So
nice.
Now I got a nice one. I got a silver. I upgraded it to another Silverado.
So you're a Chevy guy?
Oh yeah.
Buy American, hire American, fire American.
Silverado. Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever. Sure.
Look, listen. If you gave me your truck, I would take it right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having a new ride. All right, everybody. Well, let's get we got to get the outro.
Feed some ducks.
Here. Feeding the ducks. Yeah, I got it. Right here. Here it is. All right. And I'm in the home studio for the next 2 days, so I'll talk to everybody then. All right, Delco Steve, be well. Keep me updated on everything, all right?
Will do.
All right. Peace, everybody.
Peace.